Hello. Hoping for a technological problem-free night. And problems is, funny enough, what I'm going to be talking about tonight. Not focusing on problems, actually. So before I jump into my talk tonight about what I'm going to be talking about, I just wanted to mention that I've got some good news today. I've just been nominated as a finalist in the SME Awards, which is based in Hertfordshire, and it's going to be in September. That's for small best new business. So I'm really quite honoured to be nominated as a finalist in that category, and yeah, I'm hoping it'd be nice if I win that. But it's been a really good week. I mean, I've just been. I had a live talk in front of about 20 odd thousand people last week. So it was quite a lot of people, and but also my first paid talk as well the week before. And I've just been given a new opportunity where I'm going to be working in Dovegate Prison for a bit. So going back to prison again. This time though, I'm going back to help people. I'm going back to help the IPPs and the lifers in that prison based in Derby. I've been talking to this woman today about this, and yeah, no, they want me to go back and do a talk initially, and then I'll hopefully do some sort of workshop with the prisoners in there to help them, create a mindset that works for them, and hopefully get out of prison and do something with their lives. So before I go into more of that sort of stuff, I'm going to talk about what we're here to talk about tonight, and that's why it's important to stop focusing on problems. And it's normal. It's normal. We all do it. It's human nature. Something goes wrong, we naturally just focus on everything that's wrong about a situation. It's human nature to do so. There's nothing abnormal about that. But the question here is how well do you really know yourself, truly? Because what I mean by that is what triggers you. What gets under your skin, annoys you, and really pushes you to have that sort of stress reaction. At any given moment, how well do you think that you manage yourself? Mentally, I'm talking about here. How aware are you of your thoughts that you're actually having at any given moment? You see, when we have a problem in life, it's normal for us to only see the things that are not right. We then create things like stress, worry, frustration, anger, etc., self-pity, all of these draining sort of thoughts and emotions. And that's a normal thing to do when we experience any kind of stress in life. And so, however, were there a way to no longer feel that way about any problem that you encounter ever in your life? I know it sounds wishful thinking, doesn't it? But were there a way to do that? How important would that be to you? Well, the truth is you can get rid of all your problems. You can. You simply by reframing the way you think about them. Because it's natural when we experience a stressor of some kind to find our awareness drop away from how we normally would think about certain situations or stuff that we do in a normal day. And down to a much more draining, destructive way of thinking, which is full of frustration, anger, self-pity, stuff like that. And when we're in that mindset, it's very difficult to see anything positive about a situation because we're only ever going to be seeing what's wrong and what annoys us and what drains us and what causes anger and frustration and all these other things. So we're stuck in that cycle. And so many people are like this. They live their lives like this, where we only ever go from one thing that stresses us out to another thing that stresses us out. And we don't ever move forward with that. We don't ever create a life that we really want because we're too busy overthinking everything, stressing over everything, watching the news, getting upset about that, getting upset about this, getting stressed out. And we never actually do anything with our lives because we're too busy focusing on all the things that mean nothing. And that's what happens when we get into that draining sort of mindset, you see. We get stuck. We get stuck in that mindset and it can become very difficult to move forward with that, out of it, get out of it and start seeing things in a different light, in a much more productive light. So we lose sight of any rationality or clarity. And therefore it's important to become much more aware of your thoughts that are creating that drop in energy or drop in consciousness in the first place. Because by doing that, you take control over those thoughts and you can take control about your feelings and how you respond or react to situations. So simply remembering that every single problem has a solution. And And from every difficulty, we grow, we learn. Adversity is the best teacher in life. It helps us remain focused and able to see the bigger picture when we think like that, because we no longer focus on this being a bad situation. We're focusing on where we can go with this. How can I use this situation for my benefit? How can I learn from it? How can I grow from it? How can I motivate myself? There's lots of ways we can reframe certain situations to suit our needs, to suit our wants, to where we really want to be going in life. Reframing our thoughts gives us an opportunity to create perspectives that work for us. That gives us power over any problem that we are now facing. So just knowing that you have already overcome countless problems in the past successfully reinforces that belief that all problems are temporary, and they're there simply for a reason to help us grow, learn. They're not there because we've been naughty boys. They're there, we all have them. Doesn't matter who you are, whether you're good or bad, we all have problems. So these problems are there for us to learn from. That's what problems are. So they're not negatives, they're actually something quite good if you look at it in that way. The next time you experience a sudden stress reaction and a subsequent drop in your consciousness and your energy, try to remember that in amongst all of the crap that you're having to face and deal with, there's a golden nugget. There's a golden nugget of learning and growth and opportunity and possibility all amongst that. It's hidden amongst the rubbish. So we have to look for it. That's where the awareness comes in. You've got to be aware enough to be able to see it. Otherwise you won't see it. The more aware you become, the easier it is to spot the golden nugget. And that helps you see the opportunity right now. Instead of waiting for later down the line, maybe years down the line in some cases, where you look back and you think, Christ, I learnt a lot from that situation. You don't need to wait years or months or however long it is before you look back and realise that you've learnt something from a certain situation. You can do that right now and use that situation for your benefit right now. But how do I see an opportunity when I'm feeling stressed and angry? Now this is a good question, because when we're feeling that way, it's virtually impossible at times to break free and see something much more constructive instead of the negative and the draining and destructive stuff that's going on. It can be very, very difficult to do that. So how do you break free of that sort of low energy mindset when we're experiencing it? What do? Well, the first thing is to become aware of your thinking, aware of your thoughts, your feelings. Check in with yourself so that you understand where your thinking is at, where your thoughts, your feelings are at, and your emotions, and ultimately your actions. So that means checking in. So stop whatever you're thinking, whatever that's going on in your mind. If you're overthinking, stop all of that. Breathe and just bring yourself back to the moment and literally ask yourself this question. What am I feeling right now, physically? What am I feeling? Clock in with yourself. Check in. Have I got tension on my shoulder? Is my back hurting? Have I got a headache? Check in with yourself physically. Notice what's going on in your physical body, and then ask yourself the question: what emotions am I currently experiencing and feeling? Check in. Am I feeling stressed? Am I feeling frustrated? Am I feeling happy? Sad? Whatever it is. Check in with yourself emotionally and find out what's going on inside there. Once you've done that, then ask yourself, what thoughts am I having about this situation currently now? By doing that, you're identifying the thoughts that are creating your emotions, which are creating your actions and the way you feel physically. That gives you an opportunity to become aware, become consciously aware of what you're telling yourself in any given situation. This is how you check in with yourself. By doing that, you bring yourself out of your head and into the moment, and you become much more aware of your thoughts and your feelings. Then choose to see the situation that you're currently experiencing rather than a problem, but instead from a new perspective. A new perspective which builds you up, makes you feel good, more uplifted perhaps. Try to rationalise, focus on the positive, or perhaps empathise in order to try and understand the bigger picture of the situation, rather than focusing on one perspective that you might be thinking. This is being done to me, or that's been done on purpose, or whatever it is. Try and spin it around so you're reframing it and looking at it from another perspective, which is not one which is conflict driven or victim driven, instead of looking at it more of a more productive way of thinking. So once we've pulled ourselves away from that draining, counterproductive way of thinking, you can then choose the opportunity for growth and learning rather than what you're losing. Choose to see the opportunity rather than see what you're losing. Or what's this problem costing me rather than see it, what's this problem giving me? What am I gaining? What am I learning? How am I growing? How can I use this to push me forward? There's lots of different ways to think of anything. But if you're only choosing one way of looking at any problem, then you're blocking out all the other possible perspectives that are available to you, which might fuel you rather than drain you. And also, the perspective that you're looking at your problem from is only your perspective. It doesn't mean it's right. It means it's just your perspective. That means there's plenty of other perspectives to look at the same situation from, which you're not doing when you're only looking at it from one perspective. So giving yourself that opportunity to see it from a different perspective gives you the opportunity to see the opportunity to see the opportunity. So, and that is why there's no such thing as problems for highly energized people, because they are able to see the opportunities when they arise in any given situation. So low energy people will never see an opportunity within a problem. They'll only ever see the problem, and they'll only ever feel sorry for themselves and want to be in that sort of poor me sort of blame mindset. It's their fault, it's his fault, it's not it's or feel guilty. And that just keeps us stood still. It doesn't get us moving forward, doesn't create anything, it's not positive, it's not constructive. Or you can look at it from a conflict mindset where you just want to fight everyone. It's everyone, and I win, you lose sort of mentality. It doesn't really move anyone forward. It's counterproductive. So it's much more productive to be able to get yourself out of this sort of draining way of thinking and see things in a much more productive way. And that's exactly what I do. And that's the sort of person I want to work with. I work with people who want to create a high energy mindset so they're consistently performing at their best, and they're able to use their thoughts and their feelings to create things for them in life rather than the opposite. And if you're interested in finding out how I can work with you one-to-one to help you create something special with your life, helping you create a mindset that works for you in any given situation in life and circumstance, then please give me a call or get in touch via my website, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And yeah, thanks for watching tonight, and I hope some people have taken something away from that, because I know it's something that people struggle with. So I hope that's helped, and until next week, have a good week. See you soon. Bye.